Lights, camera, biceps, ditch. Let's watch this movie and flex our shit. Movie buff, flexing real hard, watching badass stuff. Movie buff. We don't watch no movies that suck big nuts. Movie buff. Damn, I just ripped my shirt cause I flex too much. Movie buff. Open up the backpack full of snacks, let's relax. Pop the movie and then pass the peanut butter cups.
What up, John? How's it going, dude?
Pretty good.
You ready to rock and roll?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to be going through the movie Men in Black from 1997. I know it's a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, John. Have you seen this movie before?
Yes, more than a few times.
Yes. Anybody who hasn't seen this movie is living under a fucking rock, that's for sure.
Yep. I mean, being so old, it definitely had its run on cable TV, so it was hard to go, more than a couple months without catching a little bit popping up on TV.
For sure. Can you remember the first time you saw this movie?
No, I don't think so.
Me neither. I don't think I can either. I know I've seen it a lot.
Let's see. I guess I was 11 when this came out. So it's been a while.
Oh shit! I was 10. But I know I saw it when I was a kid for sure. So I mean, I could have very well saw it in theaters. I don't have a whole lot of memories of remembering which movies I saw in theaters until I was like in my teens. So it's tough for me to remember which movies I saw in theaters as a kid. I just know that I saw them because I watched so many movies growing up. All right, so we're gonna go through the movie, kind of scene by scene, and let's just talk about some random shit.
Yep.
So Men in Black, it came out in 1997. It was directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. It had a $28 million budget and became a massive summer hit, grossing over $589 million worldwide.
Goddamn.
That's a fuckload of money. Goddamn.
Yep.
Yeah. This like cemented Will Smith as a fucking superstar. I think just before this movie, he had made Independence Day. So he was kind of on a bit of a roll, even though this movie I think is way better than Independence Day. Independence Day is pretty goddamn popular. When's the last time you saw Independence Day?
It's been a long time. I think I just saw the few clips at your house the other day, but the whole movie, I couldn't tell you. So like 15 plus years.
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it recently, and dude, like I didn't really. I mean, it's an okay movie. It's kind of fun, but there's so much fucking just cheese. There's so much cheese in that movie. It's so cheesy.
It doesn't hold up.
No, like it's hard to get through sometimes watching it. But I mean, it's got some cool parts. Like I think the aliens are pretty cool in the movie. Okay, so
I wonder.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I wonder, as far as Will Smith box office movies, is this like number one or top three? Let's see.
Ooh, that's a good question. Because I'm pretty sure. Let's see. His biggest movie, money-making movies are definitely gonna be. Dude, I'm gonna think it's probably this. I mean, maybe.
I see two that are higher.
The Bad Boys movies. I mean, those made a lot of money, but those are rated R. Rated R usually doesn't trump.
Yeah, I'm seeing Suicide Squad, 750.
Oh.
If this is right, it says Independence Day made 800 million. I don't even think that's right.
You know what? I think it is right. It did make a shitload of money. Like it was pretty fucking popular. It was a huge hit. So I mean, I don't.
Yeah, it says 800 million for Independence Day.
I don't doubt that shit at all.
And you know what his number one movie is?
What?
Aladdin, 2019.
Holy shit. Dude, I never even watched that fucking movie. Did you watch that movie?
I did. It was all right, I guess. I think it was a musical. I think it had a lot of singing in it.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't watch a lot of the Disney live action movies. I watched a couple of them, but I didn't watch a lot of them. So this movie starts off following a dragonfly in the beginning of the movie, the famous dragonfly scene, which I think goes on really like way too fucking long. And then it ends up crashing into a minivan, not a minivan, a shitty van. And in this
Uh-huh.
van, it's a guy. I think he's basically like a. I think they call him
Smuggler.
yeah, coyotes. He's running Mexicans over the border and smuggling them onto our side. Then he gets pulled over by some state troopers, I guess, who at first are going to arrest him for smuggling illegal aliens. But then we get introduced to the men in black who pull up on the scene. It's Tommy Lee Jones as Agent K, and he has his partner. It's an older gentleman. So the two of them tell the state troopers to hit the road. They say they're from INS Division 6 and you guys can hit the road. And they question the illegal aliens and they single out one guy who does not speak Spanish whatsoever, but is obviously pretending to be a Mexican. And they take him over into the desert, and Kay cuts open his suit and reveals an alien. So we get an alien right in the opening scene.
The first vibes I got that reminded me, I don't know, that intro with the dragonfly. I was getting like the music and the font of this. I was getting like an Adams Family kind of vibe, or like maybe like a Tim Burton movie. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
was
That's
gonna
what it
say
kind of got to me.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Okay, yeah, that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. It was pretty good. I mean, it's definitely has like that kind of quirky vibe to it, and
Mhm.
the movie actually ends up being, a pretty fucking fun comedy sci-fi movie overall.
Yep. Yep.
Now, the state troopers, they don't peace out because they're like, this is bullshit. I've never heard of INS Division 6. And then one of them
Hmm.
goes over and he actually sees the alien. The alien gets pissed off and starts running at the state trooper. And then Kay fucking blows that shit up. And all the state troopers are like, what the hell is going on here? And that's when Kay introduces the neuralyzer, and he wipes all of their memories and they do a cleanup of the area, and then bam, that's like the introduction to the men in black. Kay's sitting down with his partner who kind of screwed up a little bit. He wasn't able to take out the alien, so he neuralyzes his partner, and now he doesn't have a partner. So right off the bat, John, I gotta ask you, do you believe in aliens?
Do I believe in aliens? I would say, as big as the universe is, I say yes, they're out there somewhere.
Now,
I
have
don't
you
know if they're going to be any kind of intelligent life form. They could just be a blob on a random planet, but they're out there somewhere.
have you ever seen anything like weird or crazy or experienced anything in your life that you could possibly attribute to something alien like?
Mm, no, I don't think so.
Do you know anybody who's had any like stories that they told you?
Mm. No, I don't think so on anything aliens.
So there was one time I have one little small incident, and it's like it was really fucking quick. Okay, so me and my friend James, that we were this was like back in the high school days. We
Mhm.
were hanging out with a couple of chicks, and we were at a pool at either an apartment complex or a hotel. I'm gonna say apartment complex, and it's nighttime and we're just hanging out and we're sitting on the stupid chairs that they have around the pool, and I lean back and I look up, and when I look up in the sky I saw a ball of light, and that ball of light was probably around the same size as maybe like the moon is in the sky, maybe a little bit smaller. And
Uh-huh.
as soon as my eyes made contact with it, it kind of did like a spiral movement and then
Mhm.
disappeared really fast, like really fucking
Uh-huh.
fast. I probably like the whole situation, the whole scene probably lasted about one, maybe at most two. I'm gonna say 1 second. So it was really
Yeah.
fucking fast. And I look over to James, who immediately looked over at me, and he was like, "Dude, did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, did you see it?" And we are like, "Yeah, it was like a ball of fucking light or something." So that is that's the only ever experience I've had that might be attributed to something like aliens, UFO, or whatever. Now it could be something else. Like I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid.
Mhm.
So I know there's a lot of science shit out there that I don't understand. I know lightning can be kind of crazy.
Hmm.
The way light reflects off the atmosphere sometimes can be kind of crazy. I know there's a lot of natural phenomena shit out there, but that was pretty cool. Like, I mean, that was my one little moment right there that I've ever had that's kind of
Nice.
weird. Yeah. Because
So, so based on that, would you say you do believe in aliens?
um I wouldn't necessarily base it off of that.
Hmm.
That's just like a little bit extra evidence to support it. But
Hmm.
overall, I do believe in aliens. I don't know if I believe that aliens have visited Earth. So all the stories that we get about abductions
Hmm.
or spacecrafts landing on Earth, Area 51, uh, people living among us, the government having alien technology, like only probably like 20% max of me believes any of that could be true. But for the most part, I'm like, I'm gonna need to see that shit to believe it.
Yeah, I'm
Overall, I do believe in aliens though.
yeah, I'm about the same. I don't really believe in much as far as aliens being here on Earth or anything, but I think there's out there, but nowhere close to us.
Yeah, and as it sucks because I would like to believe that the aliens that are out there, I mean, there's probably an infinite amount since the universe is basically infinite, but I would like to think that there's all kinds of crazy aliens from, monstrous creatures to little animals to beings of light to, and everything in between. But if I were to say, like, what is the most likely alien out there that we would ever come into contact with, I'm thinking it's probably going to be something like a one-celled organism or like a small microscopic organism,
Yeah,
like a type of bacteria or something,
yeah.
or a protozoa or some shit like that on another planet that we would actually be able to reach. So, maybe like one of the planets in our solar system or one of the moons of the planets of our solar system.
Hmm.
uh, Maybe there's some sort of organism on there that is adapted to the environment on that planet, and it wouldn't be able to survive on our planet, but it is technically alive, and that's about it. Like, that's probably the most realistic thing that I think we will ever encounter ourselves.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Now, if aliens were real and we were to encounter them, what version of aliens, A, do you think we'd come into contact with? And B, like, which one would you prefer to come into contact with? What kind of aliens? Because there's a lot of different out there. Like, let's just talk about the ones we've seen in movies. I mean, there's xenomorphs, which are like, fucking serpent creatures. There's crazy fucking thing monsters like in the Thing. You got hunter races like fucking Predator. You got little goofy ass bastards like ET Go Home. So you got a whole lot of crazy shit out there. What do you think that we would encounter first, or what would you like to see first?
Uh, we got this movie and other movies, you got bug type, Starship Troopers,
Oh
this
yeah.
this cockroach here. So bugs are real big on like, I mean, they get pretty crazy and infestations growing. The only thing I don't know how they would be able to travel. I don't really believe they'd be able to like launch themselves through space or anything. So I think it would have to be something that's smart enough to build spaceships. Um,
Then there's also the other method that you see in movies is aliens of a sort, some life from another planet reaching our planet by hitching a ride like on an asteroid or a meteorite or some shit
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
You get like Venom, I think
Mm.
happens like that in a way. That movie Evolution, it happened like that in that movie. Species, I think that's how it happened in Species. So that's another way that maybe we get some sort of organism from another planet.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I mean, if freaking bugs were like deep inside a comet or asteroid, they would just be huddled in there until it crashed and then maybe come out. So,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
and I think there are, I don't know about multi-celled organisms, but I think there are organisms that can survive the vacuum of space, at least here on Earth. I want to say, can't what is it called? The water bear? Have you ever heard of that thing? The water
no.
bear? So like if you go on
No,
Google right now while I'm talking, if you go on Google and you look up water bear, it's it's like a I think it's a single-celled organism. I don't know a
I
whole
see
lot
it.
about single-celled organisms, but it's like shaped kind of like a fucking jelly bean or a bear or something like that, and that's why they call
Yeah,
it.
yep,
And
yep.
it's a weird creature. I don't know if it's one of the creatures that is considered kind of immortal. It might be, but I think I heard somewhere that whatever the fuck that thing is can survive in the vacuum of space. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna say that I think it can.
So one stat on it is that they can survive extreme temperatures from almost absolute zero to above boiling water, 300 degrees.
See, that's fucking insane. Like that sounds like
That
alien shit to me.
that is crazy. That it could go from freezing to boiling and survive. Oh,
Exactly.
and it does say right here they can survive in the vacuum of outer space, high pressure, and intense radiation.
That's fucking insanity. So it would literally be something like that. Like if we were to put a fuckload of water bears inside the center of an asteroid and it goes hurtling through space and lands on another planet, like it might very well, as long as it survives the impact, it might very well survive the trip there.
I mean, that sounds exactly right. I mean, the coldness and then re-entering the atmosphere if it gets hot, radiation to the space. I mean, it sounds like it can survive space. It sounds like it's made for space travel.
Right? like it's insane.
Shoot, man, these things maybe they are aliens. Maybe they're not even from Earth.
Dude, I think there are scientists out there who literally debate shit like that. I've heard somewhere that some people think that like octopuses or squids are aliens. I don't know why. I don't know why I've heard that, but I've heard people talk about cephalopods like that.
Uh-huh. I mean, any asteroid that hit the Earth over the last million of years could have had these water bears on them, and then boom, we're populated by aliens.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. These things exist.
So the movie continues on. We have NYPD officers chasing a suspicious figure through the park. Rookie officer James Edwards, played by Will Smith, catches up and confronts this dude who reveals himself as an alien with kind of glowing, blinking eyes. He's got kind of superhuman speed. He can climb up buildings. He's really strong. Edwards tries to capture him, but the alien ends up falling off of a building to his death because he says that he went there to complete a mission, and because he failed, the person who hired him is going to kill him. And then he says, "Your world is going to end," and he jumps off of a roof, killing himself. Now, back at the precinct, MIB agents arrive, wipe out the witnesses' memories with the neuralyzer, and Kay takes Jay out to talk. And he introduces him to an alien for the first time. He takes him over to Jack Jeeves' spots, the pawn shop, where the character who plays Monk, the guy Tony Shalhoub, is an alien that sells alien weapons so that he can point out the weapon that was used by this alien that he ran down on foot. John, if you had a neuralyzer, what is the first thing you would do with it?
Man, I don't know.
Like I can tell you right off the bat, one of the first things that popped into my mind is basically using it as like girlfriend control. So I mean, if if you piss off your girlfriend for whatever reason, you basically just neuralize and reset her to right before you pissed her off. I think it
I
would
mean, that's it right there. I mean, that's like the number one use of that thing possible.
like
There's no better answer.
if you were to market it, if you were to market a neuralizer, the number one ability that you would want to market is girlfriend control.
Hmm.
Period.
Yep, yep, yep. I think every man in the world would have that in his front pocket ready at all times. But yeah, I mean, it's only I guess do recent memories, so you can't like go back in time or erase someone's partial memory back in time. But yeah, I mean that seems like a pretty good use for it.
Yeah, I agree.
So we passed. I don't know if you already said it. The alien crashed and took its first body. That Roach alien actor is pretty good. They did a pretty good job with him.
Yeah, what's his name? That's isn't that Vincent D'Onofrio or some shit like that? He's the guy who plays Kingpin.
No shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's the guy who plays Kingpin.
Let's see.
Look him up. And I
Uh,
think he also comes out in Law and Order Criminal Intent, which fucking sucks balls. And he's one of the reasons that that show sucks balls to me. It's like nowhere near as good as SVU whatsoever. But he did play a pretty damn good Kingpin in the Daredevil series.
yep, yep, that's him. Damn,
Did you never make that
nope,
connection?
never made it.
Yeah, it's crazy,
He
right?
did, yeah, he did a good job, and then I liked how his like cosmetics, makeup just kept like making him look grosser and grosser as the movie went on.
Yeah, so so the bug lands on Earth, crashes into a farmhouse, and the guy Edgar who goes out there to see what the hell just crashed on his land, he hears a voice and it's a menacing voice that says, "Put your weapons down" or whatever, and he says, "You can have my gun when you pry it from my cold dead fingers." And it's like,
Hmm.
your proposal is accepted. And he grabs him by the head, pulls him down into the hole because you don't actually see the bug yet. And then all of a sudden, you see a deflated skin suit flop up onto the dirt and then make its way back into the hole. And then he
Hmm.
pops out and he looks fucking disgusting. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know what effect, like what makeup they did to make him look like a guy wearing a suit because it's just himself, but he
Yeah.
definitely looks like a guy wearing a suit. Like he looks disgusting. So, John, if given the choice between having to wear an Edgar suit for 24 hours, okay, you gotta wear that rotting suit for an
Hmm.
entire day, or getting swallowed by a giant cockroach and then the cockroach shits you out 1 minute later. Which one would you have? Which one would you
uh,
pick?
Probably the cockroach, just because time wise, it's only a minute versus 24 hours.
The cockroach is
Uh,
fucking scary though. I mean,
yeah, I mean that would. I mean that knowing that I would come out alive, I'd pick the cockroach. But like not knowing the outcome, I mean I'd definitely pick the suit. Yeah, because I would assume I would be killed if I got eaten alive.
yeah. If I knew I was gonna come out alive and I'm not gonna be missing any limbs from it chewing on me or anything like that, I might pick the cockroach, but I don't know. Like just the fact that it's so big and scary, I might just go with the stupid fucking suit and just deal with the deadness. But then again, oh, the smell is going to be horrible. But I guess the inside of a roach is going to smell pretty fucking horrible as well. At the MIB headquarters, Kay takes Will Smith's character over to his headquarters and he puts him through a series of tests. The idea is Kay wants to recruit James as his new partner because he was super impressed with how he ran down that alien in the beginning of the movie. He introduces him to the worm guys to immediately get him to realize that yes, everything we're doing here is real. We have aliens. And then he's given him the whole rundown what it's going to mean to become a Men in Black. I actually really like that scene where Kay and Will Smith's character sit down and he's talking to him and Will Smith is asking him, it's like, well, why the secret? People are smart, they can handle it. The person is smart, people are dumb, panicky,
Hmm.
dangerous animals, and you know it. 1500 years ago, everybody knew that the earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew that the earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that we were alone on this planet. Imagine what you'll know tomorrow. Couple questions. First, do you think that the world would be able to handle aliens on Earth?
Ooh, let's see. I mean, it would definitely cause a lot of commotion. I mean, I think it would settle down eventually, but
I mean, could you
mm,
imagine like living next door to some fucking rat alien, in a human suit or something like that? Because all of these
yeah.
aliens are disguised as humans, whether they're machine robots or they're wearing suits or whatever like that, or they could
Hmm.
just morph. So I mean, it'd be pretty crazy. Uh,
Hmm.
And this movie isn't the only instance we ever get of aliens living on Earth. So remember, there's District 9. That was like a
Yeah.
completely different take of aliens on Earth. They were basically like sloppy refugees that we gave them a piece of land and we basically had to deal with them because they were
Hmm.
They were kind of just messy creatures, but they were smart enough and sentient enough to where we had to kind of respect them. But
Yeah.
that was a pretty crazy movie.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got like Transformers, you know, Autobots living among us. I think we accepted them a lot faster though because they can turn into badass cars.
Definitely. Yeah, there wasn't. Remember, yeah, the District 9. There was, I forgot how many, but I mean, there was thousands, if not like population of like tens of thousands. So they had a really big population of them. It might be just down to the numbers. I mean, if you have a few of them, maybe it won't cause a big commotion. But if they're there taking up resources and space, I can see a bunch of people
Getting
maybe
pissed about
causing
it.
a fuss. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so now if you were given this whole rundown by Kay about aliens living among us and the fact that men in black police and regulate aliens living on Earth and they want you to join up, but the conditions are that you have to sever all ties that you've ever had in your entire life and disappear as if you died. Everybody who knows you is going to forget about you. They're probably going to go out and neuralyze everybody and they're going to erase you from everything. Social media, the system, just everything. Would you do it?
No, that's an easy no. Nah.
Dude,
No friend,
yeah,
no wife, no friends. Nah.
it would take a it would take a lonely ass like type of isolated person, which makes you
Uh-huh.
wonder what kind of fucking life Will Smith's character had in this movie for him to say yes to something like this.
That's true.
It's insane. Then again, I mean, shit, Kay said yes too. Like everybody there says yes. So I guess it's just like it's the wonderment of not being able to pass up something just incredible. I don't think I'd be able to do it. I'd want to do it. I guess you wouldn't have to live with the regret though, because he's gonna neuralize you if you say no. Dude, you know what scene I fucking love that I think is, dude, honestly, I think it's my favorite fucking scene in the movie. So
Mm.
when when Will Smith's character first goes to the headquarters under the assumption that he's there to apply for something,
Mm-hmm.
and he sits in that room with all of those military officers who are also there for
Yep.
the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they give him a test, a written test, and they're all sitting there in their little egg chairs and they all have a pencil and their test, and each and every one of them are having difficulty filling out their test because the
Mm-hmm.
paper keeps drooping, or they're trying to use the side of the chair, or they're trying to use their thigh, and none of them are comfortable in their position. And then fucking Will Smith's character gets up and he goes over to this big ass table that's
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the room, out of their reach, and he grabs it and he drags it across the room, and it makes that loud ass, funny ass screeching noise while everybody just looking at him. It's like, what the fuck is this dude doing? And then, and then he puts his paper down. He's like, he looks over to the dude next to him and he's like, "You want to get down on this?"
That is a very good scene. It's very memorable.
Dude,
Very funny.
every time I move a table, anytime in my life, at anybody's house, I'm always thinking of that scene. Every single time. There's never been one time where I didn't grab a table and move it over, a coffee table, whatever, and move it over, that I didn't
Mm-hmm.
think about that scene. Every single time. I'll even make the noise sometimes, like the ee as I'm pulling it, because it's such a good scene.
Lives in your head forever.
It does. And you know what's fucking bullshit about that scene? Like it pisses me off because the dude next to him, he like looks at him like he's fucking crazy when he says, "You want to get down on this?" It's like, why the fuck wouldn't you? Like everybody
Uh-huh.
there is having trouble writing on their paper. There's a fucking table right there. He's the only one who has the balls to use it. I would have used the fucking table in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I guess I think he was a little upset about him. I guess that was the guy who he made fun of for the yes sir with
Oh
the honors
yeah,
sir.
Captain
Yeah, yeah,
America.
yep. Oh yeah. Oh, another thing I was going to mention in the very beginning of the movie, in the opening credits, it said something about Marvel Comics. Was this movie based off a comic first?
I guess it was. You're right. I guess it was. I don't know enough about the comic series to tell you exactly what connection this, like the Men in Black story has with the Marvel universe, if any. I do know that bigger comic book companies like DC and Marvel sometimes buy smaller comic companies. So
Hmm.
imagine for, instance, DC wanting to buy Mirage Comics or wanting to buy the comic, I forget what comic company it was, but the one that owns Spawn.
Hmm.
Sometimes they'll go and they'll buy smaller companies, and it's always like a toss up as to whether or not they're going to take the characters that were inside that comic company, that smaller one, and absorb them and bring them over into their comic book world. I don't know. I don't know if that's what happened here. Maybe it was owned and created by a smaller comic company that eventually got bought out by Marvel.
That's exactly what happened. I'm seeing that right now on Wikipedia. It was made in 1990 by Aircel, which was purchased by Malibu Comics in 91, and then by Marvel Comics in 94.
Yeah, see?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I
Yep.
I know, like, I think that's what I came to that deduction pretty quickly because I think I've heard of other instances of that, and I could be completely wrong, but I want to say Constantine was from another comic company before it got brought into
Okay.
DC, but again, I'm not 100% sure. And then I want to say that the Watchmen are from another company, another comic book company, and that got absorbed by DC because the Watchmen
Yeah.
is a DC property.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is pretty cool that it was a. So I mean, this is one of the earliest comic book adaptations, then, isn't it? Is that's
Yep.
successful?
Yep. Hmm.
That's pretty badass.
And then following up, when Will Smith in the testing room, I like the scene of him in the gun range shooting. All the military guys, no problem shooting all the aliens, and he's kind of just looking around as the drill winds down. He takes a single shot, and it happens to be little Susie or whoever right in the forehead. So I thought it was
So
pretty
here,
funny.
okay, so let me get your point of view on this. I feel like he actually aced that test. That's how I feel about it. I don't know how you felt about it. I know Zed looked a little irritated with him,
Hmm.
but Kay liked it. Kay liked all
Yeah.
of it. And I don't know if Zed necessarily had a problem with what he did and his explanation. I think it was more just like his attitude, because he even says he's got a real problem with authority. But I kind of feel like he aced that test, and I also kind of feel like he aced the test, the paper tests, because so do you think that the paper test that they took had a bunch of alien shit on it and was actual stuff that was pertinent to whatever they wanted them there for? Because remember, he didn't know why they were there. He was like, "Why exactly are we here?" Do you think that
Hmm.
the information on that test was actually pertinent to why they were there? Did it have a bunch of alien shit on there? Did it, like, have questions about like your personality and persona, or was it literally kind of like what are they called where they watch you, like those college they do them at colleges where they a social experiment kind of test, to where they wanted to see problem solving skills, and when he moves the table, that right there is a problem solving skill. Nobody else in the fucking room did it, but he did, and it made the most sense for him to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to look at it. I did. That's not how I thought of it watching the movie. To me, it seemed like Will Smith was going to get the job regardless of anything. I think they were going through that maybe for formalities. Maybe they already had something planned up, and he just was added in at the last minute. But to me, it seemed like regardless of the test outcome, like Will Smith was going to get the job.
I think so. Yeah, I think for sure he was going to get the job, but I still have like a feeling in the back of my head that even though he was a shoo-in for the job, if he passed the test, I feel like in that room the real test was to see what he would do with the
Hmm.
problem, the awkward problem of doing this paper test and having nowhere to do it, and everybody was dealing with the same shit. And the fact that he did that showed outside of the box type of thinking, which is kind of exactly what you want for a weird job like Men in Black. And then
Yeah.
the shooting test, you can ask the same question, like, was it really just a shooting test? Was it really just to see how fast they were on the draw? Because they could have used targets for that shit. But the fact that he didn't shoot any of them and he only shot the little girl, even though it was kind of crazy, like the excuse that he had was pretty radical thinking, which is exactly I think what they're looking for in the Men in Black. So I kind of like I said, I don't know, I kind of feel like he aced both tests. Yes, he was going to get picked no matter what over the other guys, but I think he was only going to get picked depending on how he handled those awkward situation tests.
It's an interesting way of thinking about it. I mean, it makes sense. I think I like the way you think about it more than him like just doing a regular test.
Ex-
So
right? I think it'd be
we can
pretty.
go with it. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. That's always how I kind of felt like it was a social test. They wanted to see, you know, how they would behave in these different environments to see if like this person was different enough and accepting enough and thought and thinks the way that we think. Continuing with the movie, the bug is searching for something in New York, and J and K are trying to investigate what the bug is searching for because they know that the bug landed. They've tested the soil. They know that there's a bug in the area. They just haven't ran into it yet. So they start looking for the bug. The bug ends up going to a jewelry store and crosses paths with two aliens who have a cat. One of them has a cat, and we don't know it at the time, but there's something special that alien is holding, and he has it on the necklace of a cat.
Mm-hmm.
So the alien is searching for something. Meanwhile, J and K, they are trying to find the alien, trying to find the bug. They run into him one time at the jewelry store, but he gets away. But in him getting away, they manage to actually secure the bug's ship, which is a good thing because now they know that if the bug finds whatever it finds, he can't leave the planet. He's stuck on the planet. And then that eventually leads to the morgue because the bug does track down the alien who has what he's looking for. And in the meantime, J and K go and talk to the little pug alien dog. And he tells them exactly what they're looking for. And it turns out that the bug wants a small galaxy about the size of a marble that is the best source of subatomic energy in the universe. And with it, he would be able to, I guess, destroy anybody. So now it's a race to who finds it first, and they're going to end up meeting each other at the morgue. John, would you consider that galaxy pretty much the same thing as like the quantum realm in Ant-Man? I mean, it's kind of what it is, isn't it? I mean,
I mean, I don't really understand what it is. I mean, it's
so there's the one scene where the chick in the morgue, she finds the cat off the dead bodies, and then she's looking at the charm on its necklace, and she sees that there's a floating galaxy inside the charm. So and he also says subatomic. So subatomic is, you know, smaller than an atom. Isn't that exactly what the quantum realm was in Ant-Man?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I don't know why for some reason when it was talking about the galaxy, like I thought it was talking about their galaxy. Like even though that doesn't make sense for them to be inside the marble and outside of it at the same time.
Which parts of the galaxy?
Like the whole, I guess, like the Milky Way galaxy, like the galaxy that Earth is in.
So you thought whenever they were saying that he was looking for the galaxy, that they meant the Milky Way galaxy?
Yeah, I don't know what put that in my head, but yeah, I thought they were looking for like their own galaxy.
No, no, no. So the entire time, whenever they're talking about the galaxy, and that's why it threw him off at first, because when they're talking about the galaxy, he said, they go to the morgue and they find the alien that was dying, and it's a little alien inside of a big head, and he says that the galaxy is on Orion's belt. Then Zed says that doesn't make any sense. This is Orion's belt, which is 3 stars in a constellation in the sky, and there's no galaxies there because the galaxies are made of hundreds and millions and billions of stars. So that's he heard wrong. He's like, nah, whatever, man. I know what I heard. And then that's when we find out that the little marble has a galaxy inside of it. It has, I don't know if it has multiple galaxies, but it has at least one galaxy inside of it. And so that means further into the galaxy, any planets that are in there are any worlds that are in there are definitely subatomic. They're they're small as shit. Do we
Yeah.
know if there's any like life forms in there? Like if there are planets with, aliens and shit in that marble? I don't know. But at the very least, it's considered a power source. And that's what they're chasing throughout the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting thought to think of it as the quantum realm, like from Ant-Man. So I mean, it gotta be something similar like that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that like I think it was I was just thinking about, man, I wonder, it'd be cool to dive more into that lore of the, because we only see the galaxy in one of the Men in Black movies. We never see that ever again, but it would be cool to know if there were other alien civilizations inside that marble.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seemed like it would have had been some kind of shrinking device that shrunk a whole galaxy down
Yeah, right?
and then put it inside a marble. So I mean, what kind of power? What shrunk a whole galaxy to nothing? What did that? That's the real powerhouse.
In the morgue scene before the bug gets there and fucking causes all mayhem, when they first get to the morgue, and they find the dead bodies of the aliens, we see the one alien where the face opens up and there's a little guy inside of it basically driving the suit. First off, I want to say that I don't really understand how that alien died, because when the roach finds them sitting down eating at a restaurant and
Hmm.
he takes what he thinks at the time is the galaxy, it ends up just being a case full of little diamonds and jewels. He stabs both aliens in the neck with like his sharp claw from his roach body or whatever, and then he pieces out. Now, the tall, weird, ugly guy, that guy was a humanoid alien. He wasn't a mech suit. He was a humanoid alien because the Laurel, the chick in the morgue, she said that he had a bone structure unlike anything she's ever seen before. So that was his skeleton. He just was weird. So I can
Hmm.
understand why him getting stabbed in the neck would kill him. But the other guy, that body was just a suit. It was a robotic suit, not that different than a mech suit. And he was housed up in the brain, pretty much from, I would say, like the lips and up. So from the
Yep.
lips to the top of the head, that's where he was housed. The bug hit him in the neck. He didn't hit the body, but yet the little alien died. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Plot
Uh,
hole. Plot hole.
big plot hole. I mean, the only thing maybe I I guess I could say that maybe that mech suit was airtight and that alien doesn't live on off oxygen, so we punch a hole in the suit, basically some kind of slowly suffocated or something. I don't know.
So
Maybe that could make sense.
he can't breathe our air, he can't breathe in our atmosphere. The suit was
Yeah,
basically also regulating and allowing him to breathe in our atmosphere. Is that what you're gonna go with?
yeah. I mean, that would explain it.
That would explain it. They should have said though, because that was bullshit. The entire time I was like, dude, how is this dude even dying? He hit him in the fucking neck. He has no wounds. He's not bleeding. It's like, why are you even dying right now? You're being a little bitch. And then if
Yeah,
he was dying for that reason, let's say, it's like, oh, I can't breathe in this atmosphere. It's like, why didn't you say something?
hmm,
Say something,
uh-huh,
dude. You know, like
yeah.
like help me, I can't breathe in this atmosphere. He was acting like he was mortally wounded and there was no saving him.
Yeah, that's a very good point, man. Never even crossed my mind. And also that freaking the way that Roach killed those two guys, super fast, super
Yeah.
precise. Where was that? Like another part of the movie when he's fighting Will Smith or anybody. Like where are those moves?
I don't know. Like the entire time he behaves like he can't move very well because he's all stuck in that Edgar suit or whatever. But those tentacles
Hmm.
come out just all willy-nilly whenever he wants. I don't know, he's crazy. Oh, but you know what I will say? Dude, the effects for this movie up until this point in the movie when we see the alien inside the head and all that shit, they're pretty fucking good.
Yep, yep.
And
Nothing
that was
looks cheesy or out of place.
I mean, it was all practical effects in that part. Like they actually built a little alien inside a little robotic head. So all that shit was real. It was all animatronics, which is fucking badass. I love when they do stuff like that. I know it probably would have been easier to do CGI because they could just outsource it to somebody else, but I'm glad they went through the trouble to make that shit. And when they when they had the chance to do practical effects in this movie, they definitely did it. Even with the
Mhm.
like the alien in the very beginning that they taken out into the desert, the Mexican alien, right? That one, when
Mhm.
he's running at the officer, that was obviously CGI for sure. But
Mhm.
when they're up close talking to him, it's a real suit. It's a real alien suit, and it's a guy in a suit with robotics and shit like that. You can tell that it's actually really there. It doesn't turn to CGI until he like runs after the fucking officer. And I think that's why the effects still hold up because it's just everything's super clean.
Well, here on the screen, we're seeing the part of them doing the gun test back in the shooting range. I was kind of noticing how all the guys, and Will Smith included, were like flailing their hands about with their gun, like really bad gun safety. Like they kept pointing at each other as they're talking in the background. Will Smith points the gun at like 3, 4 people while he's talking. I mean, assuming those were live bullets, but I thought it was pretty bad of them.
Dude, you know what's another movie that I just watched recently where the gun play in the movie was kind of just ridiculous? When's the
Uh,
last time you saw Desperado?
I cannot even remember.
Okay, so
That's with Antonio Banderas.
yes, it's a Robert
Yeah.
Rodriguez movie. It's with Antonio Banderas. Overall, I think the movie's badass. I still think it's badass. I watched it recently and I just put it on and I was watching it while I was doing stuff and I remember thinking that Antonio Banderas was a fucking just legit badass with guns. And overall, his character is supposed to be a badass with guns. But if you watch that movie, it's literally like they made a list of all the wackiest things that he could do with a gun. It's like, we need to do as many gun tricks in this movie as possible. So
Mhm.
in one scene you're going to be fucking crossing your hands while shooting. In another scene, you know, you're going to be fucking like throwing your hands as if you're it literally looked like the same motion that you would do to throw a boomerang. So he was
Uh-huh.
like he was cocking his hands back and then like whipping his gun forward and shooting at the same time at one point with two with a gun in each hand. So he has his hands sideways and he's cocking a hand back and then whipping it and shooting and then cocking the other hand back and whipping it and shooting it while he's walking around a bar. Like it's in the bar gunfight scene. So he's walking
Mhm.
on the bar, going around the little bar and like looking at guys around a corner and just whipping his hands and fucking shooting. Like he does all this ridiculous shit in the movie, and the entire time I was like, damn, this isn't how you're supposed to shoot guns. No wonder he's fucking missing all the goddamn time. That shit didn't
I'll have
age
to
very
watch it.
well. It's I think it's really cool how nowadays in movies, the people who handle guns in movies, they want to come across as extremely proficient with the gun. They don't want to look ridiculous. It's almost it's almost like overdone in most movies. Like they want them to look like they're not just somebody who shoots a gun on a regular basis. They want them to look like they're somebody who does gun shooting competitions.
Mhm.
You ever seen those gun shooting competitions where like they go through targets and they, you know, they go through obstacles and and they test how fast they
Yeah,
shoot all the shit?
that's like yeah, it's like John Wick. I saw him doing the training for the movie. Like
Exactly.
they'll do a timer. Yep, yep, yep.
Exactly.
They'll have like
It's crazy to see the evolution of gun handling through movies because one of the old things that you would see in movies, if you ever notice, like if you go back and watch a movie from the 80s, whenever they're holding a gun, they do what's called a lot of them will do what's called like the cup and saucer. So what they'll do is they'll have the gun in one hand and it's making a fist holding the gun. And then the other hand, what they do is they have their hand palm up, resting underneath the fist of the hand that's holding the gun. So it's like a cup sitting in a saucer. And they call it the cup and saucer technique, which is a shitty way to hold a gun. It's like a Barney Fife, old school, you know, shitty cop movie sort of way of holding the gun. And you see that in
mhm,
some movies back in the 80s. And now, but if you ever notice in movies nowadays, they don't do that shit at all because that's not the way you're supposed to hold the gun. And an even
mm,
worse way I see in some movies of holding the gun is they'll have the gun in their hand and it's extended, pointing the gun, and their hands making a fist, and the other hand is
mhm.
grabbing their wrist. They're grabbing their own wrists to stabilize their hand. And you don't see that shit anymore either, but I think that one's even worse. But the way you're supposed to hold a gun is one hand holding the handle, and then the other hand kind of wraps around your knuckles of the hand holding the gun. Okay, so like that's how you're supposed to hold the gun. But then we get like
Okay.
even more evolution of gunfighting. You get like the fast reloads. So you ever see how like in some movies when they're shooting, they'll release the magazine and the magazine will fall, and as it's falling, they're taking another clip, another magazine out and loading it up before the other one even hits the ground.
Hmm.
Okay, so like that is it's speed reloading. I think the first time I ever saw that shit was in the first Expendables movie.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was pretty like I remember it was like a big deal because he was doing that shit. And then there was that movie, what's it called? The one with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx.
I don't know.
No, god damn it. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's a movie with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. I've only seen parts of that movie. I haven't seen it all the way from beginning to end. And I do know that Michael Mann directed that movie. Michael Mann is the same guy who directed Heat. And I do know that also
Collateral.
Collateral, there you go. And Tom Cruise, he's got like frosted hair in it. And in the movie,
Yep.
he basically kind of like takes Jamie Foxx hostage, and he like forces him to go with him on some mission that he's trying to complete. I forget what the
Hmm.
mission is. But anyway, in that movie, he's like a complete badass with a gun. So he's like really fast on a quick draw, and he's like his weapon handling was very John Wick before John Wick came out. It was pretty badass.
Nice.
But yeah, it's cool. If you ever start like if you ever watch action movies, start with a couple in the 80s and then go
Hmm.
to the 90s and then go to the 2000s and then go to now and just watch how the gun handling changes, and it just becomes more and more and more precise to where it's
Yeah.
like no movie dares wants to have shitty looking gun handling because they know that they're going to just be made fun of by everybody nowadays. You could get away with it back then, but now that shit just doesn't fly.
I'm sure you noticed, but here in the movie, uh, they're showing Will Smith, or right before they showed his teacher being an alien. They showed Sylvester Stallone and Danny DeVito on screen as being aliens.
Did they have Danny DeVito? I didn't even notice him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I did
He's
see
the one at the
Sylvester
bottom.
Stallone, and I saw.
Yeah.
Wait, are you 100% sure that it was Danny DeVito? Because there was a black guy on the screen, and it was Al Roker. Al Roker.
Uh, I mean, no, I'm not 100%, but I was like 80%.
Because I
But
know
I thought
Al
it was
Roker
Danny
was on the
DeVito.
screen, and Al Roker is kind of like a chubby, fat, bald black dude. And I don't know if you like look at it real fast, maybe you might see Danny DeVito. So, you know,
Maybe.
you might just be seeing things, John. But dude, did you notice? So in the morgue, the guy who's working the front desk, he's played by that stand-up comic David Cross. Do you know who that is?
Uh, I recognize them, but I don't know him from what else he does.
Okay, so he actually comes out in Men in Black Part 2, but he's not working at the morgue. He is the guy who's working at the video store where they go and they find that video where it kind of explains it's like a tale of Men in Black, and they use that video so that Kay can remember what he was supposed to do in the movie, because Kay had been
Hmm.
neuralized, right? He gets neuralized, so like Jay's bringing him back and he's deneuralizing him, but his memories are only slowly coming back. And one of the
Hmm.
clues that he left for himself was to find a video at this video store. And the person working the video store is David Cross, the exact same dude who's working the front morgue in this movie. So I'm
Hmm.
wondering, like, is it supposed to be the same character? Because it kind of looks like the bug kills David Cross in this movie.
I would, yeah, definitely thought he killed him.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he goes into the morgue and he looks up on the ceiling, and David Cross is like fucking splattered with a whole bunch of nasty bug goop and is sticking to the ceiling, and it's
Hmm.
covering his mouth and everything. So at that point you think that he's dead. But then he comes out in the
Hmm.
second movie. So I don't know if it's supposed to be the same character, or somehow David Cross is just really good friends with whoever cast this movie and he got himself another part.
Yeah, probably just supposed to be like a fun little cameo to have him in both movies. Like maybe he was friends with somebody.
So tension is building in the movie, at this part because now that the bug has gotten his hand, not just his hands, not just on the galaxy, he went to the morgue and he was able to get the galaxy off of the cat's neck, but he was
Hmm.
also able to escape the morgue and he took with him the chick at the morgue, Laurel. He kidnaps her and takes her. There's an alien race called the Archilians in the movie. It's the same alien race that the little guy in the mech suit was. Like, so that's an Archilian. And apparently he was an Archilian prince who was given the task of guarding the galaxy. So when he dies and they know that the bug gets his hands on the galaxy, they threaten to destroy the Earth to ensure that the bug isn't going to be able to get off planet with it and do anything to hurt them. So they give us 1 hour. They give us 1 hour to return the galaxy, or else they're going to destroy the Earth. They're trying to figure out where the bug is going to go because they have his spaceship. They have his little ship that crash landed. So he can't use that ship to get off. So they're going through all the ships that are in the city. And it was said earlier that these two kind of, what would you call them? Those circular buildings.
The ones with the spaceships.
Yes, the ones
I
with
don't
the
know.
spaceships with them. What would you call
Yeah,
those things?
towers. I don't know what they were. Some kind of amusement towers. I don't know.
Yeah, those two
But
amusement towers
yeah.
in their Times Square or whatever, those are actually really spaceships. So
Mhm.
they have a painting of it at the headquarters, and Will Smith sees it and he's like, "Hey, do those still work?" So they head there immediately, and they end up being right because that's where the bug is. And then they're gonna have a showdown with the bug at this point. But while they're driving there, they get in freaking K's car, and he lets him press the red button, and it turns into a fucking rocket ship, and they're like flying through the city and neuralizing everybody along the way. That's a pretty cool scene.
Hmm.
Now, when they do get there and they encounter the bug, this is when we finally get to see him because he almost escapes, but they shoot down the spaceships, and then the spaceship crashes back onto Earth, and he comes out and he's super fucking pissed off, and then he starts to tear the skin off of his body. You notice how nasty his body was at that point in the movie, how like
Yeah.
disgusting and rotted it was.
Hmm. Yeah, they did a really good job with that. Made them very disgusting looking.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. So like then out comes the giant fucking cockroach. On a scale of 1 to 10, John, how badly would you have shit yourself once he finally reveals himself?
Uh, Probably a 9.5. Yeah, I would have been running pretty quick.
Dude, cockroaches are so disgusting, man. And like a giant cockroach is even worse. It's so fucking nasty. That's probably the nastiest bug in existence.
Ooh, how about the whole movie? Like every time he's in a scene with people, cockroaches crawl out of his arm
Oh
and
yeah.
skin.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
That's so gross. I don't know about you. Like, okay, most people tend to see cockroaches as the most disgusting bug. Is that the way you feel, or is there a bug that you don't like more than cockroaches?
No, that would probably be it for bugs. Yeah.
Yeah, cockroaches are the most disgusting. There are some that might be a little scarier than cockroaches, like let's say a
Mhm.
spider. A big ass spider
Yeah.
is very scary, but it's not really disgusting.
Yeah.
I think the only bug that comes to mind that I can think of that is almost as disgusting as a cockroach is a tick when it's filled with blood.
Huh.
Have you ever seen a tick when it's filled with blood?
No.
Dude, they're fucking gross, man. Oh, they're so gross. So like a tick by itself, it's not that crazy looking. It looks kind of like a tiny spider with tiny legs,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
but they'll sit there and they'll engorge themselves with blood because they take their heads and they dig their head inside the animal and then they just engorge themselves with blood. I don't know how much bigger they get, but like I want to say they get like 10 to 20 times their body size.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
At that point, it,
Um,
it literally looks like a giant, like, like skin.
Looks like a giant bean.
Yeah, it looks like a giant skin tag, or like like how some people have like those bumps on their skin.
Uh-huh.
I think they're called skin tags or something like that. But like it's just an ugly ass bump on their skin. That's what they look like. They're fucking nasty. And if you,
Yeah, I just Googled it. That is a crazy difference. It says they can swell up to 50 times their normal
oh,
size.
that's so disgusting. It's like, so when they're full of blood, if you pull them off of a dog, their heads will rip off and they'll stay inside the dog. So you're not really supposed to pull them off of a dog because the heads will rip off. So what you're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
do, I think, is like you can burn them off, or you can get
Mm-hmm.
like alcohol and like get a like a swab of alcohol on a paper towel or something and kind of put it on there, and it'll just like force it off because of the chemical. It can't take it. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's fucking nasty. And if you like squeeze it too hard, it pops and it's filled with fucking
Uh,
blood. It's like popping a mosquito filled with blood, but a mosquito doesn't get as big as a tick. Some mosquitoes are pretty big, but God, dude, they're fucking disgusting. And I think that's
I've
probably,
never.
yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that's the only bug that I think is as close to being as disgusting as a cockroach.
Yeah, I did not know they get that big or they look like that. I've never seen that. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty nasty. Oh, they're so gross. And then maybe like, but I don't know if I wouldn't consider these. They're not insects, but some worms can be pretty disgusting looking, like leeches or
Mm,
tapeworms, things like that. Like
yeah,
those are pretty disgusting.
yeah. Uh, I think the only ones I've seen that are kind of gross looking are, I think I call them earthworms, but they're like the white ones that are in the ground sometimes. They're more like, I guess they look more like I don't know, not slugs, but grubs or
Mm.
something.
Oh, yeah, grubs.
Grubs, yeah,
Yeah.
those white ones.
Yeah, so a
Those
grub
pretty
is
gross
the
looking.
the larval form of an insect. So every insect when it's first hatched or birthed or whatever the fuck, I forget exactly how. I think they're hatched out of little eggs or whatever. Whenever they're birthed as grubs. They're like the little larval form. They look like it's basically a caterpillar, but caterpillars don't look as ugly as a lot of grubs do. And it's kind of the same thing with maggots. Like a maggot is the larval stage of a fly, and a lot of grubs that we call grubs are the larval stage of like beetles. So
So I'm looking it up
any
right.
beetle.
Yeah, I guess they're June bugs. That's what I'm seeing right now. That's why I see so many of them. Those white grubs, those turn into June bugs.
Dude, have you ever seen the grub for like a rhinoceros beetle? Look it up real quick.
Uh,
So, a rhinoceros beetle is one of the biggest insects in the world. I think another giant insect is I forget what it's called, but it looks like a grasshopper. It's a big ass fucking like it's got a funny name. I can't remember what it's called, but if you look up like biggest bugs in the world, there's one of them that's like a giant grasshopper, and then you have the rhinoceros beetle, and then I think you have like a Goliath beetle. But if you find them in grub form, they're fucking huge. It's
yeah,
just
I'm seeing pictures of that. It is ginormous. It's like half the size of somebody's hand.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
disgusting. It's
that's
so
crazy. It's
disgusting.
crazy.
And what's so disgusting is like so I used to watch that show Man versus Wild with Bear Grylls.
Hmm. Hmm.
And he does his whole survival thing, and of course one of the things that he does in the show is if you're out in the wilderness and you need to eat, that scavenging for bugs is a very quick source of protein and sustenance.
Hmm.
So he'll start looking for bugs, and a lot of times he finds grubs. He finds larva bugs, grubs, and he'll fucking eat them. And I think one time he ate one from a bigger beetle, and it was like disgusting because it popped in his mouth and he ended up throwing up. So he
Ooh.
he he did say that you need to be careful like eating like big ones, or you need to be careful like puking. You don't want to puke because if it
You lose
comes,
all your fruit.
yeah,
Yeah.
you lose your fluid. So if you have to choose between not puking and not eating a bug, choose not puking. Like don't
Hmm.
eat the bug, choose not puking. So,
Yeah.
because the water is going to be more important than actually, eating food.
Do you think you could eat one of those? A small one?
Oh God. Um, I'm gonna say a small one. If I just go real fucking fast and I put it in my mouth and I swallow it like a pill, because I can swallow pills pretty easily. So like I can put like fucking 8, 10 pills in my mouth, and as long as I have some fluid, I can swallow that shit pretty fast. But like I don't know if you feel the bug swimming around in your stomach until it dies or not. So that would be pretty
Uh,
disgusting. But I
I don't
wouldn't.
think I would even want to eat it alive. I'd be too afraid to try to like claw its way out or bite me on the inside.
I wouldn't want to chew it though. Oh, fuck. I wouldn't want to chew it because that's when you're going to get all the disgusting tastes of the guts popping in your mouth. So I don't know.
I guess kill it before you eat it.
Yeah, or you can cook them, you can burn them and cook them up and like crisp them, but you're gonna have to be able to start a fire in order to do that. And like if you're out in the wilderness, starting a fire can be kind of difficult. But ugh, gross, nasty shit. Dude, Kay is lucky that the roach doesn't chew his food because Kay ends up having this brilliant idea to go get his gun back because they're fighting the bug, right? And the bug snatches both guns from their from Kay and Jay's hands, and then he swallows both guns. So Kay, he's like, keep him on this planet. I'll be right back. And he's like, whoa, where the fuck you going? And he's like, I'm gonna go get my gun back. So he goes up to the bug and he pisses him off and he taunts him and he gets the bug to swallow him, right? And then Jay is left trying to keep him from getting onto the second ship. So he's like throwing things at him. He's like hitting him with branches, getting his ass kicked. And then finally he gets the bug really pissed off because he starts stepping on cockroaches.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bug gets down and he's like super pissed, right? So he's buying time because meanwhile it cuts and Kay's like fucking swimming around inside the bug, all disgusting like, looking for his fucking gun, which is nuts because it doesn't look like he should be able to breathe in there, but he was in there for at least a couple of minutes.
Yeah. And that actually probably one of my favorite lines of the movie that Will Smith delivers that runs in my head every so often through the years. The "Don't start nothing, won't be nothing" line. I don't know why that line sticks with me. I like that one a lot.
You know,
I use it once in a while.
that wasn't too bad. I did get a little cringy whenever he when he was like sizing up with the bug and he says, "You better ease up out my face before something bad happens to you." I was like, Will Smith, you're not Tupac, like you're not gangster. Like calm the fuck down. You're the Fresh Prince. Calm down. You're cool, but you're not badass. You're not gangster. Calm down.
Hey, this was after Bad Boys, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'll give him that. Like, okay, that brings me to a good question. Do you think that this is Will Smith's best movie? Because he's got some good ones.
Let's see. Let's see. No. I mean, it might be maybe his most like entertaining movie, but like as far as his like work and like his actor skills or whatever you want to call it, powers. I like him better in some of his later movies, like The Pursuit of Happiness.
I, I
Like
mean,
him putting on a performance. Like I can say those like a movie like that was better
all right.
performance
So
wise.
movies like that, yeah, they are good. Like, I mean, The Pursuit of Happiness is a good movie, and it's an acting vehicle for sure. A movie like that, he's going in there to showcase his acting chops, and I don't have a problem with that. But like, I love being entertained. So
Yeah.
right off the bat, the two movies that come to mind for me are going to be Bad Boys and Men in Black. Everything
Hmm.
else is going to come into a distant third and maybe even further down the line because there's sequels for both of these fucking movies, and I like Bad Boys 2 and I like Men in Black 2. Men in Black 3 was okay. I didn't watch Men in Black 4, but he doesn't even come out in that movie, and that movie probably sucks big penises anyway, so we don't care about that movie. Bad Boys 3 is like kind of whatever. Bad Boys 4 is actually kind of funny. I actually kind of like Bad Boys 4. It's not a great movie, but Bad Boys 1 and 2 are super fucking badass though. And Men in Black 1 and 2 are super badass. So
Hmm.
it's really just a matter of taste for me at that point as to which movie I would say was best. But if I had to boil it down to two movies, I am picking Bad Boys Part 1 and I'm picking Men in Black Part 1 as his best
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah. I definitely like, yeah, for entertainment value watching it. Yeah. Probably maybe Men in Black for me. I can't think of another one off the top of my head.
Dude, the CGI, how do you feel about the CGI for the Roach? Because when he finally pops out of the Edgar suit, we get to see the full-fledged big ass fucking Roach standing like 15 feet tall.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, you can't even tell it's some. I wouldn't believe it's from the '90s. The CGI, it
97,
looks really good.
dude. It's fucking
Yeah,
early as fuck. It was
yeah.
really good in this movie. almost
Hmm.
all the CGI and effects in this movie are freaking really spot on and still really look really, really good to this day. I think the only CGI in this movie that I saw that looked cheesy and shitty wasn't until the very, very, very end. Do you remember in the very, very end of this movie, it like zooms out of Earth and then it zooms out of the galaxy, and then all of a sudden it
Yeah.
shows that our galaxy is in another marble, and there's like an alien playing with the marbles. He's like throwing them on the ground and playing marbles, and then he
Hmm.
puts it in a bag. You don't see the
Yeah.
entire alien, but you do see like his hands and his arms, and
Hmm.
they were very like rubbery and very, very like Pixar graphics.
Yeah.
So that was the only time that I was like, oh, that was weak. Like the C team did the work on that fucking alien. They probably gave it to like a high school student who was doing an internship at whatever company they use to make this shit. But everything else was fucking A game shit. Like the bug is
Yeah.
clean. It's really clean. It's so clean that when fucking Jay runs at the bug as he's climbing up trying to get to the second ship, and he grabs onto the ass end of the bug, like I was like, oh,
Hmm.
that's so fucking gross, dude. Like I would hate to grab onto the ass end of a bug. They're so fucking nasty. At this point in the movie, he's fighting off the bug, and Kay, he manages to get his gun, and he shoots and explodes the bug from the inside, and they're sitting there covered in that nasty fucking bug goop, and
Hmm.
they're basking in their victory, and they have the galaxy. They got it back. Kay makes the phone call with like seconds left before the Archelians were going to destroy the planet, and says, we got the galaxy. Let the Archelians know. Boom, Earth is saved. And then the bug comes up to them for one final chomp, trying to eat them. And Laurel, who we forgot all about, she was like stuck in a tree somewhere, manages
Hmm.
to find one of the guns and blast the alien.
Hmm.
And then we get the end of the movie where Kay reveals his plan all along, to where he wasn't looking for a partner, he was looking for a replacement because he wants to go back to his old life, because he misses a long lost love that he left when he was a young man. So he gets neuralized, and then Laurel ends up becoming his new partner.
Uh, do we ever see? I guess Lorelai, but they don't mention her in part two, do they?
They mention
Do you
her.
do you remember?
They don't show her. They mention her. So in part two, what happens is he has a new partner. He's played by that
Hmm.
dude who plays the Tick in the Tick live action series. He also plays the voice of Kronk in Emperor's New Groove, and he plays the voice of what is it? What's his name? Joe, the guy in the wheelchair in Family Guy. Very
Okay.
recognizable voice actor. Very recognizable, and he does come out in a lot of movies. Anyway, he's his partner in that movie, and he does something kind of stupid and kind of almost like fucks up a mission in the beginning of the movie, and then Will Smith is saying, it's like, why do you want to do this job? Is it because you want to be a hero? Like, then you shouldn't be at this job. It's not right for you. And the guy starts crying because he knows he's going to get neuralized, and he neuralizes him. And then when he goes back to MIB, Zed gets a little mad at Jay because he neuralized another agent. And he's like, man, this one wasn't my fault. The dude was crying on the job. What do you want me to do? And then Elle, she wanted to go back to the morgue. That's what he says. She
Hmm.
wanted to go back to the
Mm.
morgue. So
Gotcha.
that's the only reference they make of her character in the second movie. But I liked her. I liked her character in this movie. So what do you think about do you think that like the Men in Black has like a retirement plan? Cuz don't you think that'd be kind of fucked up for Kay? Like, yeah, he gets to go back to his wife, but he has been basically at that point unemployed for the past, what, 30 years or some shit like that. He's got no job
Hmm.
history, he's got no skills, he's like, he has no fucking money. I mean, he's like, why would he have any money? He's gonna go to her basically broke. He's gonna go to her basically as like Tom Hanks from Castaway. He's been gone this entire time, and all he has is just you know the clothes on his back. I hope they took care of him. Like put some money in his bank
Yeah.
account, took care of him. They don't say though. But in the second
No.
movie, he's working at the post office, so at least he has a job.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would think they would take care of him. I mean, definitely, probably behind the scenes, they'll maybe make up some BS sweepstakes. Maybe he's the winner, wins a couple big jackpot or something. But
That'd be good.
uh, hopefully, I would imagine they would take care of him.
Yeah, he needs to get his fucking, what's the saying, 10 pieces of silver or some shit like that. I don't know.
I haven't heard that.
I forget what it is. I'm over here just quoting shit. But so now that we're done with this movie, John, let me ask you, does this movie still hold up?
100% yes.
I agree, dude. This movie's so fucking good. Dude, so I was trying to think of movies that are comparable to this movie, whether it's in kind of in the same genre or whether it's, like has a lot of the same content or whatever. And I brought up a list of movies that are similar to it in one way or another. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to list these movies out real quick, and you can tell me whether you think this movie is better or not as good as the ones that I list.
Okay.
So these are the movies that came up that are similar to this movie. The first one, Ghostbusters.
Shoot. So which one I like better?
Yes. Which movie do you think is better between Ghostbusters and Men in Black?
Okay. For personally, I think I like Ghostbusters better.
Dude, so I remember, okay, so I remember back in fucking 2005-ish or so, I did these movie battles on a website called SureDog. They have a forum section and they have a sub forum where people talk about movies. And what I did is I took 128 really badass movies up until that point in time. So this was like 2005, right? I got 128 good to badass movies and I put them in a huge bracket. Okay. Like a huge bracket with like 64 slots on it, right? Altogether. And I would go on SureDog and I would put a poll and I would put two movies against each other. And I tried to pair up the movies with similar movies in taste and feel in the beginning. And then as it got further into the bracket, obviously the movies were going to start being more and more different. So then you would just have to pick which one you like better between these two different movies. But earlier in the battle, I put Men in Black and Ghostbusters. And Ghostbusters, it did beat Men in Black. And at the time, I think I even picked Ghostbusters. And if you had asked me a week ago which one I like better, I would have picked Ghostbusters just because it has more nostalgia for me and more memory for me. And it's been around longer. So it's like lived in my head. At the time I made that poll, the movie was only like 8 years old, Men in Black. So of course it was going to lose to a classic like Ghostbusters. But now Men in Black is a classic in its own right. It's already what, 30 years later, almost 30 years later. So I do have to watch Ghostbusters again. It has probably been like a year or so since I've seen it. I love Ghostbusters, but when I was watching Men in Black again for this podcast, I was like, damn, this movie's fucking great. Like it's so good and it holds up so well. It's like a fucking great movie. I don't know, man. I don't know. I might like, as of right now, Men in Black more than the original Ghostbusters, which is kind of crazy to me. But because, like I usually always pick an older classic first. But dude, this movie's fucking great.
Well, I'm glad that they're. I was kind of feeling like they're kind of close. So if you feel the same way, yeah.
Yeah. So what about Guardians of the Galaxy? This or Guardians of the Galaxy? The first one.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you were gonna agree, but I would. For me, I would say Guardians.
I don't have a problem with you saying Guardians. Guardians is a good movie. It's a great movie. At one point in time, I thought Guardians was like in my top 3 of MCU movies. There have been there have been MCU movies that have come out since then that pushed it out of the top 3, but I still think it's a great movie. I would still pick Men in Black over this. So Ghostbusters, I have, like it's like almost 50-50, but I have an easier time picking Men in Black over Guardians. And it's kind of for the, like it's for the old school feel. Like it has a longer place in my heart because it's just been around longer. Guardians is still a little bit too new feeling for me, even though it's like over 10 years old now. Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
I'd pick Fifth Element too. I love Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is the fucking man.
All right. Yeah. Chris Tucker. I like his. I think he was funnier. His scenes were funnier than Will Smith for me.
Yeah. R.I.P.D. Did you ever see that movie?
I think Yeah, I saw it with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it was a Men in Black ripoff.
Yeah, yeah. Men in Black Easy.
Easy, like easy. Hellboy, part one.
uh, um, Hellbow's pretty good, but I think Men in Black holds up better. I think.
John, if you had to deal with an alien entity, which is basically also what kind of Hellboy deals with, because like a lot of the stuff that they deal with is from other dimensions, but that's
Hmm.
basically an alien. I mean, whether
Yeah.
it's from another planet or another dimension, it's basically an alien. So they're very similar organizations. Hellboy's organizations, I forget what the name of his group is, and then
Hmm.
the Men in Black. So if you came across an alien problem, let's say there is a swarm of 5 xenomorphs
Hmm.
raiding in the city. Are you going to call Hellboy and his team first,
Hmm.
or are you going to call Men in Black first?
Probably Hellboy.
Because
He seems like a little.
he's a tank, right? He's a fucking
Yeah, yeah.
tank. And that's one of my problems that I have sometimes with Men in Black is like, yes, they have a big array of guns, and yes, they have some clever technology like a neuralyzer, and a car that turns into a ship and shit like that. And that, yeah, that stuff's cool. But dude, almost every alien that they ever come across is bigger, stronger, faster, and way more dangerous than any of the agents, and they just rely on guns. You would think that with their space technology, they'd have like fucking mech suits or something like that,
Mm.
like fucking big ass mech suits, like straight from fucking the Matrix or some shit like that. I don't know, just something like something to make them bigger and stronger because every character they go up against is bigger and stronger than them, and they have to hope that they have guns to shoot them with.
Well, their guns seem pretty powerful. Like one shot freaking kills everything.
Yeah, yeah, but
I
they
mean,
lose the guns a
their
lot.
guns. Yeah, that's true.
But Hellboy would have made easy work out of that cockroach.
Yeah, it was smashed it pretty good. One punch.
Yeah. Okay. What about Evolution?
Oh, what do you pick between Hellboy and
Oh, Men in Black. I picked Men in Black.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Evolution. Uh,
Do you ever see that?
MIB. Yeah, one time, and I don't remember anything of it.
It's not that great of a movie. It's fun. I like it. I like Evolution, but it's not that great of a movie.
Yeah,
Men in Black easy.
yeah,
And did you ever see Mars Attacks?
yeah. One time, a long time ago. Men in Black again.
Men in Black again?
Yeah.
Yeah, Men in Black is awesome. Do you think that there's anything they could have done better in this movie?
I mean, nothing that comes to mind. Yeah, nothing I can think of. I didn't have a problem with. I didn't have a problem with anything, any of the scenes or anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was pretty well done from start to finish. We got a good amount of the bad guy. Like he was in the movie the entire time. He did stuff
Mhm.
almost the entire fucking time. We got a lot of really good jokes from K and J. We got introduced to quite a few different aliens, whether it was the talking dog or whether it was that chick who fucking she was pregnant and she shot out that little squid baby.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
was pretty cool too. So like all the aliens in the movie are pretty cool. Tony Shalhoub's character, where he shoots him in the head and it grows back, that was pretty dope as well.
Yep.
And
Yep. Yep.
they bring him back in the second movie because he was such a good character. They bring the dog back in the second movie. You get the little worm guys, they bring them back in the second movie.
Talking about the aliens and stuff, Will Smith gets slimed quite a few times in this movie.
Dude, I bet like at the end of the movie he's sitting there and he's like spitting out roach guts out of his mouth
Uh-huh.
constantly, and you know that he's just like, man, I'm fucking tired of this shit. Okay, now is the time where we rate the movie ourselves. The formula is always going to be the same: 2 judges, 5 judging criterias. Me and my co host are going to rate the movie 1 out of 10 across 5 different criterias. If I'm hosting the show myself, then my AI assistant Skynet will be my second judge. When we're done throwing out all of the scores, we'll add them all together, divide by 10, and bam, that'll be the movie's official movie buff rating. The 5 different judging criterias are as follows. First, the Pulitzer criteria. This score refers to the quality of the movie's story, plain and simple. Then,
The Shakespeare criteria. This refers to how good the acting is in the movie. The Scorpion criteria. This has to do with how well a movie hooks you and pulls you in. Does it keep you engaged? The Encore criteria, one of the most important criterias of all. This refers to a movie's replay value. Just how rewatchable is it? And the most important of all, the Highlander criteria. This refers to the movie's ability and probability to live on forever. Will this movie be remembered in 10 years? Will people be quoting it in 20 years? Will people still be rewatching it 40 years later?
Okay, we're going to start with the Pulitzer criteria. That refers to the quality of the movie's story. John, what would you give it? 1 out of 10.
Let's see. Space, aliens, galaxy. Thought was pretty good. We got. I'm gonna go with in the realm of aliens exist and that they're on the Earth. I'm gonna go with an 8.
8.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to give it a little bit of a higher score. I actually want to give it an 8.5. I think the story is badass. Okay, the Shakespeare criteria, referring to the quality of the acting in the movie. What would you give it?
Let's see. Everyone was great. I'm gonna give it a 8.5.
Damn.
Oh gosh, is that too high?
I mean, dude, it's your score. It's your score. You can give it whatever score you want. Okay. For me, I'm gonna go 7.5. I think it's really good. I think it's good acting. It's better than pretty good. I wouldn't call it very good, so I'm gonna give it between pretty good and very good, which in my ranking system and the way I like to do it, it's 7.5. Okay, the Scorpion criteria. This refers to the movie's ability to hook you in and suck you in.
That is, I think on that one, I'd probably give 7.5.
7.5. I think it's very good. It's super fucking entertaining the entire time. I'm going to give it an 8. The Encore criteria, referring to the movie's replay value, its rewatchability.
This one, uh, this movie, I don't think I could watch it on repeat too many times. I'd probably give it a 7.
7? Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna say pretty damn close. I'm gonna go a little extra, 7.2. Just a little extra. All right. The Highlander criteria, referring to the movie's ability and probability to live on forever.
So you've already got 4 movies of this. So do you think they're gonna make another one?
I hope they don't.
No, yeah.
Just because I think they're gonna ruin it. I think part 4, even though I didn't see it, I think part 4 looked like a big huge piece of shit. Like it just looked like a fucking just trash show, fucking trash. I mean, it's just the way movies are being made nowadays, and it was just a victim of that, whatever, right? Okay. But even if you were to pretend that one didn't exist, okay, I think part 1 is great. I think part 2 is pretty damn close to just on the same level, and then I think part 3 was just okay. So in that sense, it was a little bit on the decline. So I don't know if I want to see them ruin it by making another one.
Yeah.
However, if they did make another one, I would only support it if it was Will Smith. And I mean, I don't know if Tommy Lee Jones would want to do this movie again because he's getting kind of old.
Yeah.
So like, somebody connected maybe to Tommy Lee Jones, or just somebody with some really good chemistry to go with him. I don't know. Who do you think would be a good replacement for Tommy Lee Jones as his new partner if we had it? So now you have Jay, he's going to be the senior fucking agent. K is retired, or maybe he's dead in the storyline, and we need to bring in somebody to be his new partner. What actor do you think would fit the bill?
Uh, as Will Smith being the elder, wiser person, so I think you need someone kind of newer and maybe a little goofy to balance them out. I don't know. I like Ryan Reynolds.
God
Maybe.
damn it, I hate Ryan Reynolds. Can't stand his fucking voice. Oh God, I would boycott that goddamn movie if he was in it.
He was already in R.I.P.D. So maybe not. I don't
Yeah,
know.
fuck that shit.
Or what if they did like a crossover? Like it might be like he got fired from R.I.P.D. and he joined MIB. Uh,
Yeah.
but,
Um, I mean, do you think it should be somebody like young or somebody around his age? You know, like
I think younger. It'd be like because Will Smith being like he would have to take, even though he kind of did that maybe some of the other movies, taking Tommy Lee's place like an older guy, finding his replacement. Did
okay.
he already use, did he use that line in part 2 or 3, like finding a replacement for him?
No, no, he did
Okay,
not. I don't
so that
remember.
would be it.
Yeah.
That would be the rap, like going back to MIB one where he's finding his replacement, and he could use those same lines that Tommy Lee did about the stars and all that.
Okay. All right. Who's a good comedic actor? We want somebody who's funny because this is a funny movie, or
Yeah.
somebody who isn't necessarily funny, but he's been in funny movies. Like let's say like a Christopher Walken type character. Not necessarily him because he's old.
Ooh,
He's old too. But I mean,
I like a Mark Wahlberg.
oh damn, that might be kind of good.
That'd be good because it's gonna be like a buddy cop. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
what a
I will
buddy cop
support
movie.
I will support Men in Black. I'm gonna say Men in Black 4, and we'll just pretend that International never got made. I will support Men in Black 4 wholeheartedly if Mark Wahlberg and Will Smith teamed up to make that goddamn movie.
Hell yeah.
And they have to bring the same director back unless the dude's dead or something, which I don't know if he's dead or not. But if he's not dead, then they need to bring him back. If he is dead, then who is a director they should bring back to make this type of movie?
I am not a good person to ask directors. I hardly know who directs a movie, and I can never keep track.
Off the top of my head, I mean, I would think that somebody like James Gunn, who made Guardians of the Galaxy, would be a good guess, to make
Hmm.
something like this. But I didn't like Superman, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But I really really liked Guardians of the Galaxy Part One. Part Two was okay, and I really really liked Part Three. So it's literally hot cold hot cold. So I don't know, but if he just went cold, then that means he's due for a hot streak. So you know what? Give him the fucking movie. He's ready to go on a hot streak.
Uh, Back to the rating.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Okay, so
on the last one.
did you give me we gave Encore,
Uh,
right?
yeah. Now we're
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
longevity
Okay,
one.
we're on Highlander. Okay.
I like
Highlander. What was your score?
Uh, I think everyone will remember this movie. Uh, I'll probably give it an 8.
8. That's a great score. And I am going to give it an 8.5. This movie's legendary. I think it literally should be talked about in the same vein as Ghostbusters. I think it's as good as Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is always going to be a little bit more beloved because it came out in the 80s and because it has Bill Murray. But you know what? The 90s are just as badass as the 80s on a lot of stuff. And even though Will Smith is a little crazy in real life, he's pretty cool too. And you know what? Bill Murray's kind of a douchebag sometimes in real life too. So you know what? Fuck it. I don't
Yeah.
care about that shit either. So you know what? I think it's very, very close to the same level as Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters lives on forever. So is Men in Black. Okay, John, once we take those scores and we add them all together and we divide by 10, that gives this movie an average score of 7.87. Now, that in the 9 movies that I have reviewed so far and talked about in podcasts, it puts it at the number 3 spot. The only movies that are beating it so far are The Matrix and the first Rocky movie, and it's sitting right above Blade and The Fifth Element.
Nice, nice.
How do you feel about that?
Uh, I like the Fifth Element more, so I think those should be swapped.
We can't do that, John. That's illegal. Okay.
But besides that,
I like
I
Blade
don't.
more. I like Blade more. But you know
Yeah.
what? Fair is fair.
And then I'll have to rewatch Rocky. I don't know if I really like it that much.
John,
8 point.
you're a
Your number
fucking
two
you're a
movie.
man, dude. How can you say you don't like Rocky?
I mean, it was good, but I don't know if I like it that much. I don't know how. I don't think the acting. I mean, just the acting alone, that's got to bring it down.
No, the acting is great, John. I don't know what you're talking about right now. You must be thinking about another goddamn movie. I don't know, maybe you're thinking about fucking I don't even know what you're thinking about right now. Maybe you're thinking about some fucking Will Ferrell movie or something like that, or because it ain't Rocky. Rocky has solid acting.
I'll have to rewatch it and see.
All right, that pretty much brings us to the end of the episode of this podcast. John, you got anything else to say about this movie?
Uh, nope. It was a good one to watch. Makes me kind of want to watch the sequels, but I'll see if I get around to that or not.
You've seen part two, right? Though you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen them all. Yeah.
Did you ever see International?
Yes, I don't remember much about it. Very
You
forgettable.
okay? Gotcha. If you had said that it was good, I was gonna fucking do something bad. I don't know what I was gonna do. All right, guys, thanks for listening to this episode of Movie Bus, where we took our trip back and watched Men in Black from 1997. It was super awesome, super fun. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're on YouTube and Spotify. And if you got any movies you want us to talk about, don't be afraid to throw it into the comments section. Peace out, bitches.
See you later.